Hello, my dear brothers and sisters. Do you remember the streets of Britain when everything felt slower, simpler, when milk bottles were left at the doorstep and the sound of the ice cream van sent every child racing into the street? Let me take you back, just for a moment, to a time when the postman knew your name, when corner shops smelled of fresh bread and newspapers, and when every neighbor said good morning without checking their phones first, because there were none. It's the early 1980s in the UK. The world is changing fast, but our towns and cities still hold on to something special. You're walking down a cobbled road, passing by red phone boxes and sweet shops filled with jars of colorful treats. Kids are playing hopscotch and football in the street. No iPads, no noise, just laughter and the occasional shout from a mum telling everyone it's dinner time. Back then, families gathered around the TV at 6 p.m. sharp to watch the BBC News, or maybe catch a bit of Only Fools and Horses. And do you remember how magical it felt when it snowed in December? Woolly hats, steaming cups of tea, and Dad lighting the fire in the living room? Oh, how warm and secure everything felt. There were no Amazon deliveries, no texting. If someone missed you, they'd knock on your door, and you'd open it with a smile. You knew your neighbors, you trusted them. Communities felt real. Streets echoed with voices, not silence. The pubs were full of laughter, the kind that makes you feel good inside. A pint of beer cost less than £2, and you could stay all day, chat with friends and feel like you were part of something. Do you remember the old cars? The sound of a Mini S engine, or when a Ford Cortina would pass by and you'd just stop to admire it? Petrol was cheap, roads were open, and Sunday drives with family felt like an event. Everyone was out and about, enjoying the freedom that seemed endless. Those were the days before mobile phones, so if you wanted to call someone, you'd head to the nearest phone box, drop a coin into the slot, and hope the line wasn't engaged. We didn't have internet or streaming services, so we relied on things like the radio, books, and our imaginations for entertainment. But somehow life felt richer. We had fewer things, but we created more memories. We used to play games outside until the streetlights came on, and even then we defined ways to keep playing. Hide and seek, football, cowboys and Indians, or simply running around the park, pretending to be whoever we wanted to be. Those were the days when we didn't worry about privacy because we didn't have it anyway. We shared everything with our friends, our toys, our sweets, and even our parents' phone calls. Privacy was overrated. Friendships weren't. Oh, the streets of Britain in the 1980s? They may seem like a distant memory now, but they hold a special place in our hearts. A time when life was simpler, friendships were stronger, and communities were tighter. It's a nostalgia that brings a smile to our faces and a warmth to our chests. So here's to the streets of Britain in the 1980s. May the echo of their laughter continue to resonate in our memories, and the spirit of their togetherness remain in our hearts. Because in those streets, in that era, we found something truly special, something that time has not been able to erase. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Please remember to leave a comment. Thank you very much. There was no internet, so we made our own fun. We didn't have mobile phones, so we explored the world without them. And we didn't post picture-perfect versions of ourselves online. Our childhood in the UK wasn't perfect, but it was real. We had bruises, scraped knees, and stories to tell, not filtered photos for likes. The joy was in living, not performing. And now, here we are today. Everything is faster, louder, digital. But the memories we carry, they're golden. So if this brought even one memory back to you, a scent, a voice, a sound, then this video has done its job, because here on Time Vault Chronicles, we're not just telling stories, we're reliving them together. When I think of my childhood home, I think of peace. The birds singing, the trees swaying in the breeze, the smell of freshly cut grass and Mum's baking wafting through an open window. It was a small, neat house with a big garden in a small town in the home counties. My bedroom was small with a single bed, a wardrobe, a chest of drawers, and a desk with a computer on it. I remember sitting at that desk, drawing pictures, or doing homework, or writing stories, dreaming of faraway places. Outside there was a lawn, a vegetable patch, fruit bushes, trees, and a pond with a little fountain. At the bottom, a place for frogs to chill and for me to sit and daydream. There was a long sweeping driveway with a 5-bar gate at the front and a wooden sign hanging from it that said, "Beware of dog." We had 2 dogs when I was growing up, a chocolate Labrador called Charlie and a Jack Russell called Pepper. I grew up in the 90s in the UK. An era defined by Britpop and cool, quirky, distinctive richness. We took pride in where we were from. There was a sense of community. Everyone knew everyone, and kids ran free. We walked everywhere, rode our bikes on country roads, played football in the park, climbed trees, had adventures. Saturdays were for exploring. We'd pack a few sandwiches and some sweets and head out for the day, walking miles and miles until tea time. We'd walk along towpaths, through woods, up hills, and down dales, always on the lookout for adventure. And there was always something exciting to discover, a new place to explore, a new path to follow, a new story to make up about the place we were in. It was only when I moved away from home at 18 that I realized how special those childhood explorations had been. I'd grown up in a place that was quintessentially England, and I'd taken it for granted. We didn't have much money, but we never went hungry. We never wanted for anything. We had each other, our imaginations, and the great outdoors. We used to play all sorts of games outside. Cowboys and Indians, hide and seek, tag, football, hopscotch, skip, rope, climbing frames, rounders, you name it, we played it. And we made up our own games too, with no rules, no winners, no losers, just playing for the sake of playing. We had the freedom to be kids, to make our own fun, to learn life lessons, to fall and scrape our knees and get dirt under our fingernails. We were allowed to be bored, which led to creativity and imagination and all sorts of shenanigans. We didn't have mobile phones or the internet, so we had to use our imaginations. We made up stories, drew pictures, wrote songs, acted out scenes from our favorite books. We built dens in the woods, made mud pies, had tea parties for fairies, played with sticks and stones, jumped in puddles and slid down hills on our bottoms. We didn't need much to entertain us. What we lacked in technology, we made up for in creativity and imagination. The best thing about growing up in the UK in the 90s was the music. Britpop was massive. Bands like Blur, Pulp, Oasis, Suede, and The Verve were huge, and their music was all about where you're from. There was a real sense of community and belonging, and I think that's what I missed the most. The sense of community, the sense of belonging, the feeling that you could be part of something bigger than yourself. Everything was slower paced. Life was simpler. People were kinder. There was less pressure. We weren't judged as much. We could just be ourselves, and that was enough. If you enjoyed this nostalgic journey through the 90s in the UK, please hit the like button below. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Share your favorite childhood memory in the comments below. Because here on Time Vault Chronicles, we're not just telling stories, we're reliving them together. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.